A little over 9 years ago, I was traveling for work. I was in Farmington Hills, Michigan. I'd been there all week and I was just anxious to get back. It was coming up to the 4th of July weekend. In fact, it was Thursday, July 2nd. I got through my workday and I just wanted to get on my flight back to Dallas and take a nap in that order. I never imagined that I would miss my flight because of a medical emergency. I didn't know it, but I was having.
Welcome to D50 After Dark. I'm your host, Mickey Bennett, and today we will be having a conversation with our program quality director, distinguished Toastmaster, Denise Castille. This is going to be a great conversation. Welcome to D50 After Dark. I'm your host, Mickey Bennett. Today we are talking to our PQD, distinguished Toastmaster, Denise Castille. Denise, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Denise, you are our district's program quality director. It's a pretty important role.
It is. Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And you've been doing the program quality director role for a few months now. How has it been?
It has been, it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's a lot. It's busy.
Yeah.
And we are all across the district. We're busy, but yes, program quality, we stay busy. Yeah.
I bet. Now, in a little while, we're going to get into what your role entails and what you're up to in the district. But first, we just want to get to know you a little bit better, Denise.
Sure.
So tell us, how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I joined Toastmasters. It feels like a long time ago, but it was just January of 2019. So almost 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay.
Mhm.
In 6 years, you're already program quality director. So you were club growth director last year?
I was.
And before that, were you a division director?
I did not. I kind of skipped that.
You
Kinda
skipped
went
that.
by. I did.
But you were an area director.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you are on your way to the top. Next step, international director.
Okay, Mickey, let's go with it. Yes.
No. I mean, in all likelihood, you'll probably be our district director next year.
That certainly is on the table. Absolutely.
It's a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility. for
All
sure.
right. Well, we can talk about that another time.
Okay.
So tell me, what is your home club?
My home club is Richardson Icebreakers.
Richardson Icebreakers. Okay, I've heard of them.
Yes. Awesome club. I'm not just saying that because I am a member, but they are an extremely welcoming club. When I was area director, they were one of the clubs. And of course, I would visit them and they were just so welcoming and really just felt like they wanted me to be there. So I joined and it became my home club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I love a good triumph story. And I understand that you have a triumph story that we could talk about today.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it. Yeah, my triumph story is it's been a little over 9 years. So a little over 9 years ago, I was traveling for work. I was in Farmington Hills, Michigan. I'd been there all week, and I was just anxious to get back. It was coming up to the 4th of July weekend. In fact, it was Thursday, July 2nd. I got through my workday and I just wanted to get on my flight back to Dallas and take a nap in that order. I never imagined that I would miss my flight because of a medical emergency. I didn't know it, but I was having a Widowmaker heart attack.
What's a Widowmaker heart attack?
A Widowmaker heart attack, it gets its name because typically it makes widows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? So
So
it is a
it
major heart attack, massive heart attack.
so high fatality rate.
Yes, absolutely. There was one person in the office. Everybody else had gone to start their holiday weekend. Her name is Marie. And if not for Marie, I wouldn't be here today. So I decided that I wanted to equip, empower, and prepare as many people as I possibly could with life saving skills. So I started a business that allowed me to do that.
And how does this business allow you to do that?
This business, and I call myself the Chief Life Saving Officer. It is a CPR, first aid training business.
Okay, all right. And CPR, what does that stand for?
I I think it's so funny that you asked that question, Mickey, because I start classes that way, especially if it's a class of renewals.
Hmm.
And if people say, "Oh, yes, I've taken CPR before," I always want to know, okay, then tell me, what does CPR stand for? You'd be surprised at the number of people who don't remember that. But CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Great job.
So
Hmm.
cardio meaning heart,
Hmm.
pulmonary meaning like the blood flow,
Uh-huh.
and resuscitation meaning like make it work again.
I love that. Yeah, I'm going to use that. Yes.
Okay. All right. So you have a business that teaches CPR to people
I do.
around the country.
I do. We do. We are enjoying a number of contracts with companies that are outside of the DFW Metroplex. So we are very fortunate to be going into our second year with the Department of Defense, Maxwell Air Force Base, Wisconsin Department of Transportation. We're going into our, I think, our second year. It might be our third year. A company out of Denver. We've certainly been with them 3 years. So we've got a couple of clients that have put us on the map, if you will.
Wow.
Mhm,
Wow. And so you were traveling when you had your heart attack,
mhm.
and now for your business, you travel all around and help people to be ready for heart attacks.
Absolutely. We do a lot of traveling. I also get a lot of help for people who are in those locations as well. But we also do some traveling ourselves.
Yeah. Now I want to hear more about your business, but first let's go back to this heart attack.
Uh-huh.
So what was it like to have this heart attack?
Pain.
Pain, yeah.
I would definitely describe it as pain. I don't know if our viewers and listeners have heard people describe a heart attack as it feels like an elephant sitting on your chest. I can attest to that is exactly what it feels like. It just imagines something so heavy that's sitting on your chest and literally taking your breath away. That's what it feels like. I had no idea what was happening. I knew that this was there was pain. I was sweating profusely. My left arm was numb, but I still didn't make the connection. Even when paramedics said, "We got to go.
Hmm.
She's positive for MI." I had no idea what MI was. MI is a myocardial infarction, and which means a heart attack. So MI, but I had no idea until I reached the emergency room. And the emergency room doctor said, "You're having a heart attack."
Yeah. So until that moment in the hospital, after the ambulance ride and everything, until that moment, you didn't know what was going on.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. And so were you scared?
Yes. I was scared that I'm by myself. And there were moments when I thought that I was going to die.
Yeah.
So I was absolutely from being on the floor, kind of going in and out, paramedics coming in. Marie went to let the paramedics in, all of those things, getting to the hospital, being in the cath lab and all of that. I was scared. And even after I'm being taken to ICU, I'm being taken to ICU, and I'm I'm crying at that point. It's the first time that I'm crying despite the pain. It's the first time I'm crying, and I'm crying because I'm by myself. And the nurses who were helping me, they knew that I lived in Dallas and that my family wasn't there yet. And they said, "We'll be your family."
Wow.
So
Wow. So tell me, and if you don't know, that's okay. But these types of heart attacks, what percentage of people survive?
I do not know the percentage,
Okay,
Mickey. I
but with
don't.
a name like Widowmaker, I can imagine. It's most people don't.
Most people don't. A lot of people do not.
Yeah. And so how did coming so close to death change your perspective?
I know we're going to talk about it later, but it changed my perspective because in those in those moments when I thought that I was going to die, I didn't want to die. I wasn't ready to go. And I believe that the fact that I didn't die, it means that there's other stuff for me to do,
Yeah.
like starting the business, like starting a nonprofit. There are other things for me to do. And that's how my perspective changed. That I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to sit around. I want to be able to do the things and live out my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And among your purposes that you discovered was to start this business. How long did it take for you uh, to decide that this was something that you wanted to do?
I think it was probably about 2.5 years. About 2.5 years, I decided that this was the thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Initially starting as just a side hustle.
Hmm.
I'll do it when I have an opportunity. And then it just grew. And here we are today.
Now, before having your heart attack, did you know anything about CPR in this industry?
I did not.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I'd had some jobs. I'd been a flight attendant. I had to take CPR. So I knew that. And I knew, some basic information. So I went and I got certified. I went through some classes and yeah, here we are today.
Yeah. And so you originally got CPR training because you were a flight attendant.
Hmm.
And I know obviously nurses get this
Sure.
training and fitness instructors get this training.
Hmm.
Like who should get this training though?
Mickey, I'm going to say everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody. It's a skill that you want to have, but you don't want to use it. A couple of weeks ago, we had a class with Sherman Housing Authority. And as we were coming in, and it was one that I was personally teaching, as we were coming in and getting ready, I kept hearing employees say, "Where is this person? Because this is mandatory." And I remember thinking, the housing authority, it's mandatory? Why? And it was mandatory because the manager said it's mandatory. And he shared why. And what he shared was they got a text that a friend had had a medical emergency. Later, they learned that that friend went into cardiac arrest. That friend's daughter had just taken a CPR class, and she was the one that provided CPR and saved his life.
Wow.
You may need to learn CPR for someone that you know and that you care about.
Wow. And I'm sure you have like so many stories about these kind of things where an unusual situation and somebody had CPR training. What about teachers? They're surrounded by young people all the time. I mean, they don't really need it.
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if it's my understanding is correct, teachers do have to have it, especially those who are teaching in special education, those type of areas. They absolutely have to have it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So I get because I guess it's not just people who are more advanced in age who are at risk.
that's correct. It
Yeah.
can happen anytime and without warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's often not a warning.
Yeah. And so how many people would you say you train each year?
We are definitely small and trying to make a difference and an impact. I would say we're probably at about a 3,000.
Wow.
3,000 a year. We do get help. It is not me personally going out and teaching all 3,000 of those.
Sure.
We do get help with in the areas where we teach with subcontractors, but yeah, probably about 3,000. I'll have to go back and look at our numbers so far this year, but yeah. on an average every year, 3,000.
Yeah. And I know, our district used to have a club at the American Heart Association. Do we still have that club?
I don't believe we do.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's too bad, because I know they have a regional office here in the Metroplex.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We may have to work on that.
May have to reach out to them.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, very cool. It's been great getting to know you a little bit better, and a very decisive moment in your life when everything changed. And we're going to get into your role as program quality director in our next conversation.
Okay, sounds good.
Before we go, do you have a call to action for our listeners?
You know what? I do, Mickey. And it is, you said, who needs this? And I sincerely believe that everybody needs to learn CPR. So whether you learn it by calling us, we would love to be your facilitator and teach you these life-saving skills. But whoever you learn it from, learn that valuable skill. Learn CPR.
Now, I know the American Heart Association provides lists of places you can get this kind of training from, but if people want to get training from you, how do they find you?
They can reach out to us at anydaycpr.com.
Anydaycpr.com. Very
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Denise, and we will see you next time on D50 After Dark. Thank you for listening.